Hey everybody, this is Michael from SYE, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions today about learning English. So the first question is one of the most common questions, which is, how long will it take for me to become fluent in English? And this is a complicated question. So the first thing that you need to consider is that we have 6 separate levels that you move through as you're learning English. So as a beginner, you are considered A1, and then you move through A2, B1, B2, C1, and finally C2, which is a fluent speaker. Each one of these levels takes about 300 guided study hours to move up. So that means if you're just coming to SYE and you're hoping to learn English just in the classroom, it's probably going to take you a very, very long time. Because think about it, if you're at SYE, you're only going to be having 4 hours a week. So if that's all the English you're doing, it's just not enough. You need to be doing some of your studying outside of school. So that means you need to be watching television, watching movies, looking at YouTube, reading, writing, speaking. In essence, you need to be using your language. You need to use English as much as possible. And when you do that, then you will be able to move faster. So when people ask me, how long does it take to learn English? I have to turn it back to you and ask, how much work are you willing to do each week to practice speaking, listening, and writing in English? If you're not going to do a lot, then it will take some time. But if you're able to do a lot of work every week, then you will be able to gain fluency fairly quickly. The second question that I get a lot is, which accent is better, British English or American English? Obviously, I feel a little bit more comfortable with American English, but in the end, it really doesn't matter very much, because either accent will be able to be understood all over the world. So whether you go to America and speak with a British accent or vice versa, it won't really matter. So really, again, it comes to your preference. Do you prefer one country over the other? Or maybe do you prefer sports in one country over the other? So for example, do you want to be able to watch football in England and be able to understand what the British announcers are saying? Or maybe you prefer watching basketball from the United States and being able to understand what those Americans are saying. Or simply you prefer television or movies from one country or the other. In the end, as I said, it won't matter so much. As long as you are speaking English, that's the most important thing. The accent is something that we can help build in as you go. The third question that I get a lot is, how do I memorize all of these words? And I understand it's very difficult. You're learning a lot of grammar and you have lots and lots of words that you need to try to memorize, and you have to do it very quickly so that you can move up different levels. So I know people have told me that their preferred method is to try to do things like write a word 100 times or say a word 100 times so that they really can sort of feel, see it, know it. But I mean, is that really going to work? Do you really think that writing something 100 times, that's all that it's going to take? I mean, it will help. There's no doubt about that. But if you want to use the language, then you need to use the words in the language itself. So what I mean by that is, to learn vocabulary, you have to be able to see these vocab words in writing, in listening, in movies, in TV, but most importantly, you need to be able to produce these words yourself. So that means you need to practice speaking. And if you can't do that, you could try journaling. You could write down your thoughts every day in English. And over time, see how well you're able to improve your English abilities. Or you could try to do things like writing Facebook posts, and you could try to do it in both English and Arabic. So you can, again, see how to use these kinds of words. And for more advanced speakers, when you're encountering new vocab that deals with very specific things like sciences or finance or difficult topics, then you need to try to find videos on places like YouTube that will cater to these kinds of interests so that you can learn how these words are used in the context of the language itself. So these have been some of the most common questions that we receive. If you didn't feel like I answered your question, maybe you should write something in the comments below. Give me a question that I can answer. And otherwise, just wait and hopefully we will come back with some more videos answering more of your questions. Thanks.